And we start the news from the educational sector. The Vice President, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, says government took inspiration from the churches in Ghana that organize multiple church services every Sunday in introducing the double-track system that is expected to begin this month in senior high schools. He says the soaring numbers of junior high school leavers or graduates, coupled with government's policy to tackle poverty through the provision of education, makes the double-track system a viable option which must be embraced. Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, who was addressing this year's Ogwafe to Afasha, described the double-track system as an innovative idea.
Of course, there are challenges of spaces, and that is why we are introducing the double-track system. It is an innovative means to be able to use the existing spaces to be able to provide education to a larger number of people. So the churches have taught us that if you have one church building and you have many church goers, you can have first service at 7 o'clock and second service at 9 o'clock, and they will all still get the word of the Lord. And so we are using an innovative means to bring in the double-track system, and we should explain it, as Osaberima has cautioned us, to the people so that they get to understand what the double-track system means. And at the end of the day, we will all be benefiting from it.
Now, the Ghana Library Association says that government's double-track senior high school policy will face difficulties if public libraries are not well resourced. Ashanti Regional Librarian Elizabeth Arthur says a 3-month vacation break could make students rusty if they're not occupied in attractive libraries. Now, she was speaking at the 6th Reading Festival in Kumasi.
School children are on vacation. Brima Ochre and her friends would want to avoid distractions of home. They will spend the next 20 days ahead of reopening at the library.
The library always opens at 9, so I wait here, and when the library is opened, I read a lot of stories.
I normally come here at 10, and I've been reading a lot of books.
I always come here in the morning, around 8 p.m.
I learned about Robin Hood, a young man who was an outlaw, who was the leader of a certain band. He took from the rich and gave to the poor.
Okay, so start with the HTML.
Pupils come here not only to read, but also have coding lessons. For Selim Seles of International Community School, a website isn't a bad idea.
Coding is not as difficult as people see it to be. If you just follow instructions and follow what you have been given to do, you do it and do it right.
The month of August has been dedicated by the Ghana Library Authority to reading activities dubbed Reading Festival for Children in Kumasi. It is to encourage children make judicious use of their leisure during holidays and inculcate in them reading habits. Unfortunately, the library is understocked with just about 4,000 books and other reading materials. Overuse has rendered most of the books unusable. Worse still, the e-library is left with only one functional computer.
One computer is working perfectly, only one. It's also another problem. And we have serious problem with our reading materials. The children are really willing to read, that is the truth. But where do we get these reading materials?
Ms. Arthur believes students who will be enrolled for the double-track system will be victims of such infrastructural and logistic deficit.
So whilst in the house, they can utilize our facility if it is well equipped with the needed facilities, like the books, the required books are there. They can come and utilize the place so that there will be continuity. At the end of the 3 months, when they are supposed to go back to school, they will still be on track.
Reporter for JoyNews, Kwesi Deborah.
Also have to remain on education. And the chairman of the Governing Council of the Polytechnic, Professor Daniel Baga, has denied that the reinstated rector of the Polytechnic was locked out of his office Thursday. He believes Professor Mafo did not ask about the keys to his office from the staff and lecturers, suggesting he did not come to work but came to walk around the campus. Correspondent Rafik Salam is now reporting a lot more on the story from WA.
All 15 members of the Governing Council of the Polytechnic, with the exception of the rector, attended the emergency meeting. It was held behind closed doors and lasted for 4 hours. The agenda on the meeting was to discuss the High Court ruling which causes decision to suspend Professor Emmanuel Mafo as its rector. Professor Daniel Baga is the chairman of the Governing Council of the Polytechnic.
And I must admit that we have had a lengthy but fruitful discussion because we tried to look at some of the issues that were leveled against the rector. So we looked at them, and I think we are getting somewhere.
But the rector, yes, the man involved, was not present.
Yeah, he wasn't present, but to the best of my knowledge, he was invited. Yes, and this time round, he signed for the invitation letter.
He denied that Professor Mafo was locked out of his office, but rather a letter came to walk about the campus.
Oh, deny entry? No, I don't think anybody denied him entry. You were with him here, isn't it, yesterday?
Yes.
Weren't you?
Yeah, I was.
Yes. Did he ask for any key? Did he greet anybody? Did he interact with people? He just came and started walking around.
Professor Baga also denied the assertion by the rector that the Polytechnic was not paying more than the 500,000 Ghana cedis allocated for the purchase of the saloon car.
If you care to know, every what we call a month, we pay interest on the car.
Why are you paying interest?
Yeah, because that's the arrangement he put there.
So you are paying to who?
We're paying to the company. We haven't paid yet, but it's accruing. It's accruing because the manager rector is here. The acting vice rector is here. He just showed us a letter at the emergency meeting. We received it from Silver Star. Yes. Now from 502,000, it is now 508. Yeah, that's right, and that's why we are fighting.
Reporting for JoyNews, Rafik Salam. Wow.
One more before we go. Ghana and China have signed 8 cooperation agreements and memoranda of understanding for different sectors of their respective economies, aimed at deepening the ties of cooperation and the bonds of friendship that exist between the two countries. The agreements include the cooperation on the supply of police vehicles to the Ghana Police Service, memorandum on the regional aviation cooperation, agreement for cooperation in the peaceful use of nuclear energy, and cooperation to carry out maternal and child health projects. The agreements were signed on Saturday, September 1, 2018, during a visit of President Akufo-Addo to China. Here's a bit more in this report.
The other agreements signed between the two countries are framework agreements on finance and insurance cooperation, economic cooperation on Phase 2 projects of the University of Health and Allied Sciences, cooperation on the expansion of the Cape Coast Stadium, and One Belt, One Road Memorandum of Understanding. Highlighting some matters of critical concern to Ghana, President Akufo-Addo said his government has been engaged in the fight against illegal mining, popularly referred to as galamsey, and told the Chinese president about the involvement of some Chinese nationals in the illegal activity. He stressed that his administration would not relent in the fight to restore the purity of the country's water bodies and the health of its environment. On the development of Ghana's infrastructure, he noted Ghana is interested in receiving investment from China towards specific sectors of the economy, such as the railway and road network. President Akufo-Addo also noted that the Ministry of Finance and economists in Ghana are looking at floating a 50 billion century bond which will provide the resources to finance infrastructural and industrial development.
Very, very determined on this Sino-Hydro arrangement, and we're counting on you in the way in which you worked with Bowie Dam, with high quality work, that will also be a feature of the arrangements that we're making with Sino-Hydro. And therefore, Ghana too is very keen on providing as much support as possible to make the Sino-Hydro arrangement come on stream quickly. And that's why I'm saying that as president, I'm expecting that we'll have even more than before. I'm satisfied about the capacity to do it, and we will have all the support that you need from the government of Ghana.
President Xi Jinping, proud to the signing of the 8th agreement, noted the relationship between Ghana and China over the years has been excellent. He added Chinese cooperation and investment in the economy are very essential to the delivery of progress and prosperity to the Ghanaian people. President Akufo-Addo also held bilateral talks with Mr. Li Keqiang of the State Council of the People's Republic of China on issues regarding infrastructural development, communications, and oil and gas.
The money for the police vehicles, that's a good one.
Indeed.
Yeah. I'm hoping that this time there won't be saloon vehicles, but more of the four-wheel drives. But after the IAM, we'll better maintain them.
Indeed. I mean, it's not just about whether it's a saloon car or four-wheel drive. Everything we do should be fit for a purpose, right?
Definitely.
So we need to find out what the police needs and see about providing exactly that for them to do a better job.
Well, we have to move on. We'll be doing a review of the newspapers. Ourselves, Mama Vio Sabwaji and Joseph Akable will be looking at into detail the stories as we can, but of course apprising you of the latest front page headlines.